in this short video, we are going to discuss absorption. So the basic concept is very easy. First we have, for absorption, we have a gas mixture and we have a solvent. So what the solvent will do is, the solvent will extract a particular solute from that gas mixture. This is what absorption is. The reverse of absorption is also known as stripping, in which a solute from the liquid phase will be stripped off into the gas phase. That is what we call as stripping. So I will explain the absorption in this video. So suppose this is the gas mixture. Suppose this is the gas mixture. This gas mixture contains air and ammonia. So now I will contact this with a suitable solvent. Suppose I take H2O in order to absorb this ammonia from this air ammonia mixture. So this is what absorption will be. And in case of stripping, what will be the case? For stripping, I will have this ammonia already present in this H2O. So I have to use a suitable gas in order to strip off the water ammonia mixture to get the ammonia back. So that is what stripping is. So now we will discuss only absorption, where we will consider that I have a mixture of air and ammonia and I have to use water in order to absorb this ammonia from this air and ammonia system. So this is what we will deal with. First I will draw a absorber. So here comes my absorption tower. So from the bottom the gas mixture will be pumped in. From the bottom the gas mixture will be pumped in. Now the gas flow rate I will denote with GNP plus 1. This is the gas flow rate. So this the unit of this will be kgs per second or kgs per hour, or the unit can also be kilomoles per second or kilomoles per hour. This is the unit of GNP plus 1. So now the concentration or the mole fraction of ammonia in this ammonia air mixture, I will denote this with YNP plus 1. YNP plus 1. This YNP plus 1, this will be small letter y. This small letter YNP plus 1 is the mole fraction of ammonia in this ammonia air mixture. So this is pumped in from the bottom. Now this will move out of the tower. This will move out of the tower from the top. And also from the top I will put the desirable solvent. The desirable solvent will be water over here. Now the flow rate of the water, that is the kilomoles per second of water that I am putting in, I will denote this with L0. I will denote this with L0. Now in most cases the solvent which is put in does not contain any solute. That is, in this case it will be a pure solvent. So for a pure solvent the concentration or the mole fraction of ammonia in this solvent will be nothing but 0. Hence I will write small x naught is equal to 0. Small x naught is the mole fraction of ammonia in the solvent which I am supplying from the top. So this is equal to 0 because I am considering pure solvent. If the solvent is not pure, then there will be some value of this x naught. So now what I do is, this water will go through the absorber. It will come in contact with the air ammonia mixture which I am pumping from below, and it will absorb the ammonia from that mixture. So now after absorbing, it will come down from this point. Now here I will again name the flow rate, that is kilomoles per second of the mixture which is of the solvent which is coming out. This I will name as LNP. This is my LNP. And the concentration or the mole fraction of ammonia in this stream will be higher because it has absorbed most of the ammonia which was flowing upwards. So now here I will name this as XNP. So what is XNP? XNP is the mole fraction of ammonia in this solvent at the bottom, that is after the absorption has taken place. So now we will discuss a little bit about this top stream of this gas which is flowing out. Now in this gas stream, what will happen is, the flow rate, that is the mass flow rate, will be denoted by G1. This will be denoted by G1. So G1 is the kilomoles per second or kgs per second of the gas which is flowing out. That is the air ammonia mixture. And also the concentration of ammonia, that is the mole. So the mole fraction of ammonia which is present in this exit gas stream after the absorption has taken place, I will denote this mole fraction with small y1. So now one important thing which we need to know is, all these things I have written are small letter, which means these are all mole fractions. But in equations we will need a quantity which is known as the mole ratio. So what is this mole ratio and mole fraction? It is very easy. Mole ratio I will denote with capital letter. So for mole ratio, if I am writing capital Y, it means the moles of ammonia present, moles of ammonia present divided by rest of moles except ammonia. So this is what mole ratio means. And when I am writing mole fraction, what I mean is, I will denote this with small y. So this will be equal to moles of ammonia present divided by total moles. So this is the difference between mole ratio and mole fractions. We will understand this better as we proceed. So first we will deal with obtaining the operating line equation. So to find the operating line equation, let me write absorber over here. This is the absorber tower. So first we will try to derive the operating line equation. So before deriving the operating line equation, I need to tell certain more things. That is, there is a relationship between this mole ratio and mole fractions. So I can write this relationship as, in order to convert from mole ratios to mole fractions, what I need to know is mole ratio capital Y is equal to mole fraction Y divided by 1 minus Y. This is how I can easily convert from mole ratio to mole fraction, where Y is the mole fraction and capital Y is the mole ratio. So remember this, because we will need this while deriving the equation. Also, one more thing that we need to know is, so in this equation or in this diagram, you can see that this capital GNP plus 1, this G1 and this L0 and this LNP, all these are total flow rates. That is the total kg per second which is entering from the bottom. It does not discriminate whether it is ammonia or air separately. It is the entire thing which is going in. So now my solute is, the mixture which I am sending is ammonia plus air. So ammonia is the solute. I need to absorb this using the water. So now this is the solute. So if I want to calculate this flow rate, that is this kgs per second or kilomoles per second, excluding this ammonia, then I need to do a mathematical modification. What we will do is, I know that the total rate is GNP plus 1. This is the total rate. So now in order to convert it into solute free basis, I need to represent this as GS. So what is the relationship between this solute free feed rate and this total feed rate? So in order to find the relationship is very easy. It is GS is equal to GNP plus 1, where GNP plus 1 is the total feed rate, times 1 minus YNP plus 1. So if I do this, what I will get is the flow rate, and I exclude the ammonia from this part. Why I am doing this? This will be useful while finding the operating line equation. That is, this GS is the kgs per second of air entering, where no ammonia is present. This GS is the kgs per second of air entering from the bottom, and no ammonia is present over here. No ammonia is present in this GS calculation, while the GNP plus 1 contains both ammonia and air. This GNP plus 1 is also in kgs per second, or it may be in kilomoles per second, doesn't matter. What matters is this GNP plus 1 takes into account of both air and ammonia, but this GS takes into account only air. It excludes the solute. So this is what is important. So now another thing is, this GS is constant throughout. This GS will be constant throughout because air is not getting absorbed. What is getting absorbed is ammonia. So air flow rate, that is the kgs per second of air, will be constant throughout the tower. So I can do the same thing for this solvent. I will write this as, this L0 will be written as LS. So LS will be the solute free water. So solute free water LS will be equal to the L0, which is entering, times 1 minus the mole fraction, that is X0. We know X0 is 0, but for the sake of math, we will consider it 1 minus X0. So this is what we have over here. So these two equations will be useful. These two equations will be very useful while deriving the operating line equation. So now to derive the operating line equation, what we will do is, we will consider this entire thing and we will take a material balance. So if I take material balance, the things which are entering the absorber, I will write first. So first this gas stream is entering and this liquid stream is entering. So ammonia in the entering gas stream is GNP plus 1 into YNP plus 1. So let me write it down. GNP plus 1 into YNP plus 1. YNP plus 1. This YNP plus 1 is the mole fraction, remember it. So this one is entering, plus also what is entering is this solvent. So L0 times X naught. L0 times X naught. This is also entering. So I know that X naught is 0, but for the sake of math we will consider it, because sometimes there might be little ammonia which is present in the solvent. So to consider it, we are taking this term L0 times X naught. So this is equal to, this X naught is also the mole fraction of ammonia in the liquid stream. So this will be equal to the output. So what is going out? What is going out is G1 Y1. So G1 times Y1 is equal to G1 times Y1 plus G1 times Y1 plus LNP times XNP. LNP times XNP. So this is the important equation that we need. This is the equation from which we will derive the operating line equation. So now what we know is, so now we will convert this GNP plus 1 into the solute free basis. So if I do this, what I will get is GS. So if I write GNP plus 1 in terms of GS, it will be GS divided by 1 minus YNP plus 1. Now I multiply this with YNP plus 1. So I will draw a line over here to separate these two boards. So YNP plus 1 plus I have to take this L0 X0. So again I will represent this L0 with solute free basis. Why I am doing the solute free basis? Because the solute free part will be constant throughout the tower. The terms considering the entire thing will vary, but the solute free terms, the concentrations will not change. So I am taking the balances without the solutes. So GS by 1 minus YNP plus 1 times YNP plus 1 plus L0 X0. So what I will do with L0 X0? This L0 can be written as LS by 1 minus X0 times, I have an X0 over here which I have to multiply. So I multiply this X0. So this is on the left hand side of the equation. This entire thing is equal to, this entire thing will be equal to what I have to write over here is G1 Y1. So G1 will be written as GS divided by 1 minus GS divided by 1 minus Y1 and there will be a Y1 which I have to multiply this Y1. So it will be GS by 1 minus Y1 times Y1. So this is what I have. Plus I have another term which is LNP times XNP. So this LNP can be written as LS divided by 1 minus LS divided by 1 minus XNP. Why I am having XNP over here? Because I am talking about this stream. When I am talking about this stream, I will take X0. When I am talking about this stream, I will take XNP. So LS by 1 minus XNP, and I have to multiply this XNP also. So multiply the XNP. So this is what I get. Now you can see over here, I have a relationship between mole ratio and mole fraction. Mole ratio equals to mole ratio divided by 1 minus mole ratio. So you can see over here I have mole ratio divided by 1 minus mole ratio, again mole ratio divided by 1 minus mole ratio. So I will convert this into mole fractions, and what I can write is, this can be written as GS times YNP, but no, YNP plus 1. Notice that I have changed from small letter to capital letter because I have taken this entire term. This entire term is my capital YNP plus 1, which is the mole ratio. So I will do the same for all the things, and what I will get is GS times YNP plus 1 plus LS times capital X0 is equal to again GS times capital Y1 plus LS times capital XNP. This is what I get. So now I will simplify this equation. I will take the GS terms on one side. So GS times YNP plus 1 minus y1 equals ls lx times xnp minus x naught. This is what I have. So from here what I can write is ls by gs equals to ls by gs equal to ynp plus 1 minus y1 divided by xnp minus x naught. This equation is very important in solving most of the absorption problems, because this is the equation of the operating line. This is the equation of the operating line. Equation of the operating line. So now we will see how to plot this and determine the number of stages which are required to do this absorption. We will be calculating the number of trays which are required within this absorption tower in order to do the required absorption. So to do that, what we need to do is we need another line which is known as the equilibrium line. This is the equation of operating line. Another line which we will need is the equilibrium line. Equilibrium line. So this equilibrium line data, it will be provided to us. In most of the cases, this equilibrium line data is provided to us. It is given on the basis of ammonia water solubility. On the ammonia water solubility, an equilibrium data will be given to you. So now what we will need to do is, using these two, we can plot and calculate the number of stages. I will show it to you. So in this graph, I will plot the mole ratio of ammonia in the gas stream, that is the capital Y. The mole ratio of ammonia in the gas stream, that is capital Y, will be plotted on the y-axis, and capital X, that is the mole ratio of ammonia in the water, that is in the liquid phase, I will plot it on the x-axis. So this is the graph that I have. So first the equilibrium line will be given to us. So if the equilibrium line follows a linear relationship, then we will get a straight line like this. If the equilibrium line follows a linear relationship. So to make this simple, we will consider that the equilibrium line is a linear relationship. Now we will try to draw the operating line. You can see that this operating line is also a linear line, that is a straight line equation. So first what we will do is, we will calculate this y1. The first point is y1 x naught. First point is y1 x naught. So how to do this? We know, I have said before, that the water which is entering from top, the x naught is 0, because this water will not contain any ammonia. It is a pure solvent. So for pure solvent, what will happen? This x naught will be 0. This x naught will be 0, but there will be some value of y1. There will be some value of y1, because y1 is the ammonia. Y1 is the ammonia which is leaving from this gas stream. We know that absorption has already taken place, but still some amount of ammonia will be remaining in the outlet gas stream. So that will be that y1. So I have the first point which is x naught y1. So I will plot it over here. So let this be over here, x naught comma y1. This is my first point. So x naught is 0. I have assumed x naught to be 0. That is why the point is located on the y-axis, because x naught is assumed to be 0 over here. Now the second point through which this operating line will pass is the ynp plus 1 and xnp. Notice that ynp plus 1 is the mole ratio of ammonia which is present in the inlet gas stream. So that is a very high value, because a lot of ammonia is present in the inlet gas stream and we are absorbing it using water. So ynp plus 1 will be higher than y1. So it is clear that ynp plus 1 will be higher than that of y1. So it will be somewhere over here, and it will be somewhere over here, this point. It will be xnp comma ynp plus 1. This will be the point. Why it is somewhere over here? Because we have a value of xnp. This xnp is the amount of ammonia, is the mole ratio of ammonia which has been absorbed. The xnp is the mole ratio of ammonia in the leaving liquid stream. So that is why it will have a value. So let that value be, I have assumed it to have some value. So let this be the value, it is capital xnp. So now if I join these points, if I join these 2 points, what I get is the operating line. This is the operating line. This is the operating line. This is the equilibrium line. This is the operating line. This is the equilibrium line. Now to calculate the number of stages, which are required for this absorption to take place, I need to draw lines over here. I will show how you can draw it. So first take a vertical line from this point. So take a vertical line from this point which will drop up till this equilibrium line. Then extend it again horizontally to hit the operating line. So this is the first stage that I get. Similarly, we have to keep on doing this. This is the second stage and so on. This diagram is drawn roughly, hence I am only getting 2 stages. But if you do this, you will get number of stages depending on the problem that has been mentioned. So let's keep this video short. In the next video, we will be discussing absorption factor and many more things like the Kremser-Brown equation, etc. Thank you.